Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So we know that ESPN and WWE have inked a deal, so we're going to see a lot of WWE content on ESPN, on First Take, on some of their flagship programs, because every single month there is going to be a WWE PLE on ESPN. It started with WrestlePalooza on September 20th, and then every year or every month there is going to be another one, all leading to the biggest shows of the year, like WrestleMania, which is a two-night event, and SummerSlam, which is now a two-night event as well, all hosted on ESPN. So with that, of course, we're going to see a ton of WWE superstars and WWE content and WWE trivia all over ESPN. And it's already started with Stephen A. Smith, the most notable, popular, and well-recognized figure in the ESPN world, probably in the sports media world. He's on First Take. He's got his own podcast. He's jumped into the political sphere as well. So Stephen A. Smith, does he know ball? Yes, he knows sports, but does he know WWE? And I really like just talking about lists and Mount Rushmore and things of that nature, because professional wrestling itself is so subjective. What you emotionally connect to could be so different than someone else, and a moment in time, a wrestler where you needed the most, a story that really got you just vibing and really you connected to. That's what professional wrestling is. It's story. And so there's so many different things, and I think lists are important when you talk about greatest of all time, like a Mount Rushmore. That's more of like, okay, do they have a set of skills? Do they make a lot of money? Do they do these types of things? But when you're talking about your personal favorite, it can be literally anyone. So let's look at Stephen A. Smith, and let's look at what he said on First Take about Stephen A. Smith names his top 5 wrestlers of all time. And so when I look at this list, I don't think like this is what he thinks is the Mount Rushmore. That's not what I think. I think like this is who Stephen A. Smith connects with most deeply, because I saw Goldberg as number 1, and Goldberg is the worst, best wrestler of all time. But when Stephen A. Smith was probably watching professional wrestling, it was probably back in the day with WCW, when Goldberg was the coolest motherfucker around. That dude was sick. He was 162-0. He came out with the sparklers, and he was jackhammering, and he had intensity, and he was a former football player, and he did the spear, and he was like, oh yeah. Like, that was sick. So of course he likes Goldberg. And you can't not like Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the ladies' man. He's got charisma. He's got money. He's got everything you could want in a man is Ric Flair. And then Hulk Hogan is sort of like the pinnacle of raising the standard for what it is to be a sports entertainer and to really be a global phenomenon. And then, of course, The Rock, right? Everyone loves The Rock. Maybe he didn't like him back then, but he knows The Rock now personally. And The Rock seems to be just one of the coolest dudes around, right? We love The Rock. And the Road Warriors, similar to that, they were just fucking cool. You just wanted to be like them. You wanted to paint your face. You wanted to dress up. You wanted to be like them. And so when I look at Stephen A. Smith's list, I don't think like, oh, this is who Stephen A. Smith thinks is the best wrestlers of all time. Yes, it says he names the best wrestlers of all time as the sort of the caption of his list, but it's not a Mount Rushmore. It's who Stephen A. Smith deeply connects to. And he connected with Goldberg. We know I've talked so much about Goldberg on this channel, but I'll talk about him again. Goldberg just retired, and he retired by facing Gunther at a Saturday night's main event, and Goldberg had his best match in the last 20 years as his last match ever versus Gunther. Goldberg is one of those guys who just doesn't know how to work. The work rate is very low. Now, in professional wrestling terms, being able to work is being able to, do the things in the ring that make it look legit. Someone like Bret Hart could really work. Even though Bret Hart is kind of an asshole and all he does is talk shit, he could work. Shawn Michaels can work. Seth Rollins can work. Like, those guys can work. They're not just characters, or they're not just charisma. Goldberg was just character, was just charisma, but at a time when he was really over, which means he was really popular, that's all he needed. And so, of course, Stephen A. Smith connected with someone like Goldberg. And then the other guys, Ric Flair could work. That guy could work with anyone. His matches with Ricky Steamboat, like, that work rate is very high. Hulk Hogan didn't need to do a lot of crazy things, right? Had the leg drop, had the hulking up, right? But if you watch his matches in, like, Japan, which get posted all the time on X, like, Hulk could actually work. If you watch the Hulk Hogan Rock match, I believe from WrestleMania 18, which is considered one of the greatest matches of all time. If you watch that Hulk Hogan and The Rock match with the sound off, It's one of the worst matches I've ever seen. It's sloppy, it's weird, the timing, the pacing, all of that stuff. But you watch it with the sound on, with that crowd, oh my God, it's the fucking greatest thing you've ever seen in your whole life. So it also depends on the atmosphere, the environment, and what you vibe with. That's why it's so subjective, and it's so cool to see people's lists about what resonates deeply with them. That's why you don't know, as WWE, right? When you throw a superstar out there, you don't know what's going to hit and what's not going to hit. Is Stone Cold going to hit? I don't know. Austin 316 said, I just whooped your ass. No one knew that that was going to hit and become a global sensation and a global phenomenon, right? It's some of these organic moments, and then you sprinkle in some stuff that's manufactured and fixed, because that's what WWE is. But those organic moments allow you to have that, okay, this is what they like, let's build on top of that. And this is Stephen A. Smith's list. I appreciate Stephen A. He's cool. He talks with a lot of passion, which I very, very much appreciate. And it's cool to see his top 5 wrestlers of all time, who he connects with. I'd love to see him do a list of like current, because he's going to find a lot of current guys. He's going to talk to a lot of current guys on his show with the WWE and ESPN partnership. So I would love to know what Stephen A. Smith's top 5 current active performing wrestlers are. But this is a really cool list. And yeah, so let me just transition back so you can actually see my face again. I wanted to keep it on there so we could also all see the list and you'd hear my voice, and I thought that was a pretty cool little vibe there. But anyways, I think that's all I have for you today. Just want to talk about Stephen A. Smith and continuing this partnership between WWE and ESPN and where that might blossom to. But I would love to know what you think. What are your top 5 wrestlers? What do you think of Stephen A. Smith's list? Let me know in the comments down below. Then like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.